All right, when you were talking about spirit guides and guards and things like this, people that you meet, were you talking about actual beings that are separate from you, or are you talking about archetypes that like you might create to help yourself subconsciously?
No, they're actual beings that you've chosen to come in. And how you get to know them is completely up to you. So it's the human experience that you want to know if they're male or female. Are they, 6'2"? What do they wear? What do they look like? What era are they from? Their energy. They don't have any of that, but we want to, our mind, the humanness in us wants to know who they are, how we know them, where we've been, all of those things. But it gets to a point where it becomes annoying. Like at first I was like, oh my God, I saw her. Oh my God, I was so excited. But it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, they're here. I just know it.
All right.
Right? However it works for you.
No, that answers my question.
Perfect.
So
Awesome.
they don't necessarily have to be human even?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because a lot of you kids, you come from different planets. You're coming from different places. And so the people that are with you are not of the human persuasion, so to speak. It's funny because I've known this for a long time, and I was never able to really talk about that, even in circles of like mind, because people thought I was loopy, But it's absolutely, it's the galaxy, it's the universe, it's energy. We're all energy, but our brain, we're trained that we can't handle anything different than that, and it makes me laugh because, of course, you can be from different planets. Hello. It's the same thing. We're all the same thing. So we're just in a carcass, that's all. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have like a lot of us do have like spirit animal guides and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And actually, we're coming into the awareness, especially with children. Children have an amazing ability to communicate with nature spirit, which I consider to be plant life, animal life, all of those things. All children, even myself as a child, I used to collect ladybugs by the jar full. I got them tattooed on my body. Love them. They are my totem. I just love them with all of my heart. Great respect. But when you're meditating and when you have these power animals with you, absolutely you have animal guides with you. You have an animal totem that's with you. And the time that we're coming into, because the vibrations are raising so quickly, it's easier for us to communicate with animal spirit now. Usually kids see it because they're the pure at heart. But now we're starting to see it because the vibration is raising and we're able to hear it more readily. So when you're in your dream time, when you're in meditation time, you're able to communicate more readily now with these things that you haven't been able to for years because the vibrations are changing and it's easier to communicate. So absolutely animal spirits, for sure. And it's good. Mm-hmm.
I think, well, you mentioned it was clear that we don't meditate. Is there a good spot? Is there a good spot to start?
Absolutely. Today. No, I'm just kidding. Meditation. If you are going to start meditating, which you are tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually the best time to meditate, they say, is in the morning. I, however, am not a very nice morning person. It does not work effectively for me. And the thing to know is that we don't have to meditate for 5 hours at a time to say that we've meditated. We are now able to get all that information in 5 minutes because that vibration is changing, the energy is changing. You don't have to go into a 6-hour meditation to get the information. And so what I would do is I would try and do it close to the same time every day. And how I describe this, and people laugh at me, but it's like your guides will put you in their day planner. Oh, he's going to meditate. It's like 7 o'clock. He's going to meditate. We'll be right there. So if you can start getting into a time where you can do that, you can do it before you go to bed. Only problem with that is you probably won't remember it in the morning because you're probably nod off, doze off. But if you have trouble sleeping, good way to do it. Go to meditate before you go to bed. So what I say is try and meditate in the same place, same time, and just sit. And try and clear your mind if you can. Just sit. Some people do it in the shower. They just close their eyes, put their head back, imagine all the garbage washing off them, and just sit in that space of nothingness. And the funniest things will come. It just comes.
Yeah, just when you talk about meditating in the shower, one thing I actually kind of did, which you guys can probably try, just to kind of like put you in this trance, but to actually like be in the shower and then like cup your
Oh,
ears.
yeah.
And then just kind of like close your eyes, because like it's all different sound at that point, but it's like warbly and stuff like that. Like it's easier to go somewhere else when you have your hands cupped like that and you hear the water going off and just feeling the water like run
Yeah.
down your face and stuff.
Well,
like that.
yeah, because water is A, for grounding and cleaning. So it's an amazing time. Don't recommend it in the tub because you will drown. Ask me how I know. But I didn't die that way, but it was pretty darn close. I don't know how. But yeah, absolutely. Water's the way to go, you know, and just start. And once you start doing it, it just becomes, and to be honest, we're coming into a point in time where you should constantly be in a meditative state. When you're in your moment, you're in a meditative state. So when you're looking at things, like, I don't get so excited anymore. You know, when something happens to me, it's like, oh my, you know, and they're like, aren't you a little pissed? I'm like, no, it's okay. It's just a thing. But you start getting into that, you're in that meditative state, you're in your moment all the time. And that's where we're heading as a consciousness. That's where we need to be as a consciousness. Yeah.
So you were saying that kind of your spirit guides kind of put you in a schedule, so they're not always with you.
Usually you have one with you, but if you're going through something and you know you want to meditate on something in specifics, well, they already know. They'll be right there for you. So you can have as many guides as you need. Call them in, you know, like if I'm having a rough time, I'll just say, come on, just take care of it, please. Like today I asked for a parking spot. Hopefully I don't get towed, but they just poof and there it was, right? Like it just takes care. It just takes care of its own. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool.
I was kind of wondering about some like meditative techniques and kind of different variations of stuff.
Sure.
Like I've been kind of playing around with meditating with my eyes closed and open. I
Uh-huh.
notice when it's closed, it goes more into like the dream state kind of, and my
Yeah.
thoughts kind of wander a bit more.
Yeah.
But the way I've always interpreted meditation is something to try and be as present as you can be.
Sure.
So I noticed that like now what I like doing is when like the lights are all off and if you just have like an empty stare kind of.
Mhm.
And I was reading up how like some cultures meditate differently with
Absolutely.
techniques like that.
Yep.
So I was just wondering what your take is on kind of that stuff.
I think that they're all good. You go through, I think you kind of go through phases. For me, I don't like the Zen. I don't like sitting in nothing. And Charles always says, keep your vase empty. I don't like it empty. I like it full. I like to be busy. I like to do whatever. So I prefer more of the journeying style. But there are times when you just want to sit in that stillness. You know, just pay attention to the breath or whatever it is that takes you into that space. Every single meditative property, or whatever you want to call that state, every meditative state has a purpose. And I think we all do it, you know, like when you're in class and you kind of daydream and you get into that zone. You don't know where you've been, you just been kind of staring. You didn't hear anything around you, but you're able to block everything out and you're in that state. That's a meditative state. You're in that meditative state. So they come in all kinds, you know, stare at a candle, sit against a wall, sits, you know, straight, back straight, legs crossed, all kinds of things like that. But whatever works for you. So if you're finding that it's working for you, then just stick with that. And it will shift. It'll shift. Everything shifts. Everything evolves. I used to say we go through a process, but they told me I can't say that anymore because the process implies that it has a beginning and an end, and it's in your brain, and it goes back and forth. And it doesn't. We're now evolving. So work with whatever, try it, you know. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's my thing, right? So absolutely, you know, try it. There's no right or wrong. And with meditation, that's the thing. There is no right or wrong. And whatever you receive, it's exactly what you're supposed to receive. Like people will come and to class, and there's some people, this one lady, oh my gosh, she came for 2 years. Every Monday she came for 2 years. And she was getting so upset. She's like, all I see is my closet. I come and I sit in a black closet. That's all I do. This is stupid. I don't want to do it anymore. Because everybody else is saying, oh, we were on the mountaintop and the eagle flew in and blah, 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 blah. And she was getting so angry. And I said, well, then ask for it to shift. So she came in the next Monday and she sat there and she cried. And she's like, oh my God, all these things happened. And she didn't come back. Because she didn't know how to do it. She didn't know. She's like, oh my God, I've gone crazy. So she liked being in the closet. Do you know what I mean? But they took her to that place because that's where she thought she wanted to be. So they showed it to her. And she's just started coming back recently. Actually, we were just joking about that. But yeah, so there's no right or wrong in meditation. Just get in there and get it done.